Armed helper T cells activate B cells that recognize the same antigen. T-cell dependent antibody responses require the activation of B cells by helper T cells that respond to the same antigen. This is called linked recognition. This means that before B cells can be induced to make antibody to an infecting pathogen, a CD4 T cell specific for peptides from this pathogen must first be activated to produce the appropriate armed helper T cells. This presumably occurs by interaction with an antigen-presenting dendritic cell. Although the epitope recognized by the armed helper T cell must therefore be linked to that recognized by the B cell, the two cells need not recognize identical epitopes. Indeed, T cells can recognize internal peptides that are quite distinct from the surface epitopes on the same protein recognized by B cells. For more complex natural antigens, such as viruses, the T cell and the B cell might not even recognize the same protein. It is, however, crucial that the peptide recognized by the T cell be a physical part of the antigen recognized by the B cell, which can thus produce the appropriate peptide after internalization of the antigen bound to its B cell receptors. For example, by recognizing an epitope on a viral protein coat, a B cell can internalize a complete virus particle. After internalization, the virus particle is degraded in peptides from internal viral proteins as well as coat proteins can be displayed by MHC class II molecules on the B cell surface. Helper T cells that have been primed earlier in an infection by macrophages or dendritic cells presenting these internal peptides can then activate the B cell to make antibodies that recognize the coat protein. The specific activation of the B cell by a T cell sensitized to the same antigen or pathogen depends on the ability of the antigen-specific B cell to concentrate the appropriate peptide on its surface MHC class II molecules. B cells that bind a particular antigen are up to 10,000 times more efficient at displaying peptide fragments of that antigen on their MHC class II molecules than are B cells that do not bind the antigen. Armed helper T cells will thus help only those B cells whose receptors bind an antigen containing the peptide they recognize. And that's armed helper T cells activate B cells that recognize the same antigen. Have a great day.